Hi, I'm Lynette and welcome to my channel. Today I will be showing you a tutorial on this look right here. And it's featuring one of the new Milani Hypnotic Lights Holographic Liquid Eyeshadows. So today is an icy blue look, and I really wanted to use one of these new Milani Hypnotic Lights holographic eye toppers, and I picked that up. I don't know if you've seen that video yet. I showed it in a haul, so if that video is up, I will link it up above. And this is what it looks like. I bought two of them. And this is the blue one. This is in the shade number 5, Prismatic Light. It's like a dual chrome, turquoise. It shifts between turquoise and like a dark blue or violet shade, and it's really pretty, which you'll see up close and personal in the tutorial. I've done a lot of pink looks of late. Not on purpose, it just, I don't know, I've been using new palettes and it just worked out that way. But in the last pink video, I think that was an Ace Boutte video, I asked if there were, I told you I was going to be putting down the pink for a little while. I'm going to be stepping away from the pink for a minute. And I asked if there were any other colors you'd like to see me use. And one of my supporters, MK, hi MK, she mentioned teal or blue or green. So I got you, MK. I got you teal, blue, all day, a day right here, okay? You ask, and I try to get that out for you. I do. I also want to thank you for the love that I got in that video, because I had my fro. It was on my, I got a lot of love for my hair. The fro was out in all her glory in that video, and so thank you for the love for that. It just, that kind of made me feel good, but I do feel a little guilty because, you know, I don't always come to you looking with the full fro in effect. I usually film on wash day and my hair is wet as it is today, so this is what you get normally. I'm in my lounge shirt, like, you know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not putting my best foot forward. But I tried with the eyeshadow look. Okay, enough with the chatter. I did put a timestamp in here because there are people that don't like the chatter. So they could just jump right to the action, the tutorial. If you would like to see how I achieved this look today using one of the new Milani Hypnotic Lights Jazzmatazes, then just keep on watching. I'm starting off with my Urban Decay Primer Potion. This is the anti-aging one, and I like to blend that all over and then give it a second to dry down just a little bit to get tacky. And now I'm taking the colored Raine Vivid Pigment. This is in the shade Drip Drop, and I'm using a Sonia G Builder Pro to blend that into the crease. And this look did take quite a bit of time to do because I went back into every pan, every shadow multiple times to build up the colors, even though they were pigmented. But I wanted to build up those colors, and then I spent a lot of time blending. Because these shades are so pigmented, you want to make sure that you blend them, because these pigments can be hard to blend on a tacky base such as this primer potion. So you want to blend to make sure that you don't have any patchiness, that all the shades are smooth and blend smoothly together. Now I'm taking the Colourpop Press Shadow. This is the shade Lost and Found, and I was not ready for this pigment. Look at this. Okay, Colourpop, I see you. And this is another Sonia G brush. This is a flat shader brush. I'm not sure of the name of it, but I'm using it to blend this very pigmented shadow into that colored Raine pigment, and then high above my crease. And again, just a lot of blending. Even though I didn't need to build up this color, I did go back into the pan just to make sure I didn't have any patchiness. Now I'm going into the Juvia's Place Magic palette, and this is Yejide, and this is a Sonia Kashuk blending brush. And I'm using this brush to first stamp this color onto the outer V, and before I blend it into the crease. I wasn't sure how this shade was going to perform because there's a really deep purple shade in this same palette that did not perform for me at all. So I was afraid I would have similar problems with this shade, but fortunately I didn't. And again, it's very pigmented and blends out well, but I did go back into the palette multiple times to build up this shade. And then I also spent a lot of time blending using back and forth motions and circular motions to make sure that these shadows blended smoothly together. And then I went back into that pigment and that Sonia G Builder Pro brush, and again make sure I'm blending these eyeshadows together. And then I'm going to go back in with the Colourpop and make sure that this is still the pigment, making sure that I don't have any patchiness. And now this is the Colourpop shade. So, you know, every time I apply, you want to go back with the previous shade and blend. Now I'm taking the Milani Hypnotic Lights Holographic Eye Topper. This is in the shade Prismatic Light number 5. And I'm going to use the applicator to put that on my lid. I was going to open my eye. That's what I was trying to do there, like a cut crease. But I decided I did not want to get this in my crease. I wanted to keep it on the lid. And then I'm going to go in with a silicone applicator from Sephora, and I'm going to use that to try to just make sure I get an even layer with this this liquid shadow. And that's the key here, an even thin layer, which can be difficult to do with these really glittery liquid shadows. And then I always have to remember to close my eye and try not to open it so that I give it a chance to dry. And then everywhere I see some patchiness, I'm going to go in again with the applicator. Now I'm trying to get it to dry faster. I'm taking that NYX shade in the shade Blame It on Midnight, and I'm using that to blend out that edge of that Colourpop shadow. And I'm using this for my underbrow highlight. And then I'm stamping that deep blue shade in the outer V again to make sure it blends in with that liquid shadow. And now I could see my my eyelid underneath that Milani shadow. So I'm going back in with another layer and again trying to get it even, and using the silicone applicator. And it's no easy feat, not with these liquid shadows. I've determined this is the hardest part in working with these, because you don't want it to get too chunky. I had a lot of fallout with that eye, not as much with this eye. When you start layering in these shadows, these liquid shadows, they get really chunky because of the glitter. So I try to avoid that as much as possible. And now I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On eye pencil. This is in the shade Abyss. And this is still, of all the eye pencils I've tried, this is still the best one I've ever used. It's really expensive, but it's really the best. And now I'm using an LA Girl Glide gel liner in the shade Aquatic. And although I love this color, these pencils can be problematic, which you'll see in a minute. Now I'm going back in with that Colored Raine pigment, that deep blue, and I'm just going to put it on the outer half of my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take the Colourpop shade and I'm going to put that on the inner half. And as you can see, as I'm trying to blend that LA Girl pencil, that shade is rubbing off. I'm going to go back in and try to cover it up. And then when I go in again with the eyeshadow, it just comes off again. So that's the problem I've been having with these LA Girl pencils. And now I'm going back into the Magic palette and Yemoja, and I use this shade Dry, and it's beautiful even when it's dry. And this is the finished look. I use the Kiss lashes, the faux mink lashes in Little Black Dress, and the Milk Makeup Gel Liner. The color Boss is just black to tight line. And as I move my head, you can see the violet shift in that Milani eyeshadow. Very pretty. And And that is the completed look. I just realized my nails look like someone's been chewing off the nail polish. My apologies. It's hard out in these YouTube streets. What can I do? I'm just trying to get the content to you guys. I don't always look the prettiest while doing it, but I'm trying to get it out there for you, okay? You know, these toppers, they really work very much like all the other toppers I've ever used. The Stila Glitter and Glows, what is this? The Colourpop Supernova shadows. They all, in my experience thus far, pretty much work the same. They're not the easiest to work with, especially if you have eyelid issues like me. If you have hooded eyes, if you have folds or lines in your eyes, it can be a little more difficult to keep control of it. You want to make sure you do a thin layer if possible, because layering them can get a little iffy. I did have to layer this one because it was a little sheer. I was able to put one thin layer on, but it was a little sheer and I could still see my eyelids underneath. So I did layer it. I was able to layer it without too much trouble. So, you know, for the most part, I like it. I think the shade is absolutely gorgeous. They're $9.99. So if you're looking for a more affordable alternative to the Stila Glitter and Glow shadows, I think for right now, these are great. I just did apply it, so this is a first impression. I haven't worn it that long. And if I notice any flaking or fallout during the day, I will just leave an update for you in the description box. But so far, so good. And it's really just pow, really nice. That is it for today. If you liked this video, then please give it a like and consider subscribing, because I do tutorials, makeup reviews, hauls, and swatches here on my channel every Saturday. As always, I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.